Good evening and welcome to FSC TV. I'm Kate Murphy.
And I'm Andrew Pauling. Tonight on FSC TV, Constitution Day, a new vaccination bill, and a Lord of the Rings prequel. But first, Florida Southern Student Government Senate election results ended Monday night at 11:45 p.m. The election is being called one of the most competitive in recent memory as over 80 students ran for 36 seats, with some races being separated by just 2 votes. Logan Buffa, Natalie McGinnis, Isabella Suarez, and Blake Laughery were voted as first-year senators out of a field of 27. Lexi Potter, Kevin Medina, Sammy Beeson, and Bobby McLaughlin were selected as second-year senators, while Sebastian Fernandez Mendoza, Julia Hardacker, and Nolan Smith, and Michael Osborne were named as third-year senators. Reams Landreth, Jean Howe, Jacqueline Washington, and Leslie Engelhard were chosen to rep the senior class. In total, 620 votes were cast. Those elected have a mandatory Senate training meeting tomorrow at 5 p.m. in the Hollis Room.
Freshmen from the Political Science Department held an annual event in honor of Constitution Day.
Constitution Day is an American federal observance that recognizes the ratification of the United States Constitution. Normally observed on September 17th, it remembers the day in 1787 that delegates of the Constitutional Convention signed the document in Philadelphia. With the freshman students in their first few weeks of college and being thrown into planning with students that they have just met, it can get complicated.
Well, the reason that we have this assignment for first years is that within 2 weeks of arrival, they have to plan a major campus event, an all-campus event. And that means that by the end of the time that they've spent on this, that they're going to have, well, they will have talked to most of the administrators on campus. They will know approximately what the available spaces and venues are for events, and they will have organized something together, so they get to know each other really, really well.
Planning Constitution Day is meant to teach the freshman students how to get in contact with speakers and people around campus that can help with various things like location, equipment, decorations, and food.
I think it's great that first years do it. I think it really does throw them into what they're going to be doing. I love Anderson's quote, "It's not like real life, it is real life," and it really helped. It really stuck with me through this entire thing. It's like you yourself are putting yourself out there to talk to these higher ups, talk to Justice Lewis, a great name at Florida Southern. So by you doing it yourself, it really sets the bar for things you can do later on.
Around 200 students, faculty, and staff attended this year's event.
Turning to sports, in men's golf news, freshman Chris Fosdick was named Sunshine State Conference Men's Golfer of the Week after he finished 5th in the St. John's University Doc Gimler Classic this past weekend in New York. The team played at historic Bethpage Golf Club on Long Island. Fosdick becomes the first Mock to earn a weekly conference honor this year and finished 1 stroke off from coming away with a medal in his first college tournament. The Mocks finished 6th out of the 14 teams, 12 of which were Division I programs. Florida Southern Volleyball, who are currently 2-5 on the season, will take to the road this weekend, facing off against St. Leo on Friday at 7 p.m. before heading to St. Petersburg on Saturday to play Eckerd at 3 p.m. The women's soccer team, currently riding a 3-2 record, will head down to West Palm Beach on Saturday to play Palm Beach Atlantic at 6 p.m. The men will take on the Sailfish of PBA at home on Saturday at 7 p.m. All games are scheduled to stream live on the Sunshine State Conference digital network.
A farming company in Polk County has replaced 30 acres of orange trees with industrial hemp as part of a state pilot project. Hook R Farms is growing hemp to see how the plant grows in Florida's conditions amid the decline in the citrus industry. Unlike medical marijuana, industrial hemp is not allowed to exceed THC levels of 0.3% in Florida and has a variety of uses. Hook R Farms co-owner Henry Hooker says, quote, "It's going to be an exciting road to travel down." Florida Senator Lauren Book introduced a bill to remove religious exemptions from childhood vaccinations. Claire Van Susteren, Senator Book's spokeswoman, said the bill was introduced after Senator Book heard from various religious leaders who told her that no modern organized religion prohibits vaccinations. Van Susteren also said Book spoke to representatives of the Florida Department of Health and the American Association of Pediatrics. The bill has been delegated to the Senate Committee on Health Policy.
Many Polk County educators have been ordered to undergo training in response to violations of state and federal requirements pertaining to the education of special needs students. Florida Department of Education's Bureau of Exceptional Education and Student Services found the district violated requirements of procedures in 10 out of 12 cases. Schools violated policies, failed to implement students' individualization education plans, and failed to provide exceptional student education services, among other violations. In a majority of the cases, staff have been ordered to undergo training or professional development. Lakeland Suncoast Credit Union will be hosting Swantoberfest this Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. at Munn Park in downtown Lakeland. Swantoberfest will feature live music and a variety of German foods such as bratwurst, pretzels, and traditional desserts. This is the only Oktoberfest-themed event of its kind in Lakeland, and it is free to the public.
Last Thursday, the Trump administration revoked an Obama-era regulation that protected many wetlands and streams from pollution. Environmental Protection Agency Chief Andrew Wheeler said the Obama rule, quote, put backyards, puddles, and prairie potholes under Washington's control, end quote. The administration plans to adopt a new rule by the end of the year, which would more narrowly define protected waterways. Environmental activists, however, have criticized the administration due to the negative impact they say it will have on drinking water and allow damage to wetlands, among other concerns. Gas prices have been rising recently following an attack on two major Saudi oil refineries. Yemen's Houthi rebel group, backed by Iran, has taken responsibility for the attacks despite American military and intelligence officials saying, quote, all signs point to Iran or Iranian proxies, end quote. The attack halted about 5% of the world's daily crude oil production. President Trump said he instructed the Secretary of the Treasury to increase sanctions on Iran due to the attack and has insinuated retaliation depending on Saudi Arabia's decision.
Amazon Studios has announced that their new Lord of the Rings prequel series will be filmed in New Zealand. The series' storyline will take place before the events of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The series has a $1 billion budget and has committed to run for multiple seasons, providing a large economic boost to the island nation. Amazon took ownership of J.R.R. Tolkien's work 2 years ago and announced that they would make a series back in 2017. Both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings trilogies were also filmed in New Zealand. And that's your news for this week. We'll be back next Thursday at 5 on FSC TV. I'm Andrew Pauling.
And I'm Kate Murphy. Until then, you can follow us on Twitter at TV_FSC or on Facebook at FSC TV.